The Pompeii ruins, terracotta warriors, Machu Picchu, humans have been uncovering the world's secret, tragic stories, and remarkable findings since the beginning of time. Here are 8 incredible ancient archaeological discoveries from around the world. Terracotta Army. The massive terracotta army was only discovered in 1974 by complete accident. Farmers found shards of terracotta while digging a well, which led them to the ruins deep underground. The soldiers were buried with China's first emperor, Qin Shi Huang. The army were apparently supposed to guard the monarch as he journeyed through the afterlife. The 8,000 life-size soldiers standing at 6 foot tall are each sculpted with unique features and hairstyles in armored positions carrying real weapons. The tomb housing his remains is still yet to be explored, as well as these soldiers, terracotta musicians, birds, and chariots also accompanied the emperor. What's incredible about this discovery is that there were never any records of an underground army in Chinese scripture. Research has led to archaeologists understanding the emperor took the throne in 246 BC at the age of 13 and began construction in 246 BC. 2,000 horses and warriors have been excavated, but 6,000 are still buried underground, guarding their emperor by facing east, in which direction enemies came from. Machu Picchu. Machu Picchu, also known as the Lost City, is an engineering masterpiece that was built without the use of animal power, metal tools, or the wheel. But why was it constructed and then abandoned? Built by the Inca Empire, Machu Picchu is nestled high in the Andes Mountains at 2,430 meters above sea level. It was discovered in 1911 by Hiram Bingham, who staggered up the mountain expecting to see another hidden city named Vilcabamba. Bingham spent his life claiming that Machu Picchu and Vilcabamba were the same thing, a thesis that wasn't debunked until after his death in 1956. It's said that during the 1500s, a Spanish army began to invade the residents of Machu Picchu. They fled with their belongings, destroying the trails behind them. The citadel is crazily situated on 2 major fault lines, but was built to withstand earthquakes. Its structures are so precise, each stone piece perfectly cut and fit together. They say you can't even fit a credit card between 2 pieces. Pompeii. Pompeii is an ancient Roman city that was destroyed from the eruption of Mount Vesuvius in AD 79. The eruption caused havoc on August 24th that year and lasted for a full day, burning 12% of the city's population. It was discovered centuries later in 1911 by Domenico Fontana. Because of the manner the volcanic ash preserved the city and its residents, Pompeii is now regarded as one of the world's most important historical monuments. One of the saddest Mount Vesuvius truths is also one of the most interesting. Pompeii's people were unaware that the mountain was a volcano because it hadn't erupted in 1,800 years. When Mount Vesuvius exploded, this naive ignorance cost them their lives. What's interesting is the word volcano did not exist before 79 AD in Roman history. The term volcano, originating from the Roman god of flame Vulcan, was used after the epic and terrible eruption. The city is both terrifying and fascinating, and you'll never forget Mount Vesuvius, which looms as enormous as life on the horizon. The Great Pyramid of Giza. The Great Pyramid of Giza, one of 3 built in 2550 to 2490 BC, is the oldest and largest of the Giza Pyramid complex. It borders modern-day Giza in Egypt and is the oldest of the 7 wonders of the ancient world. It's the only ancient wonder that has been preserved in its entirety. In the afterlife, Egypt's pharaohs were expected to become gods. They built temples to the gods and gigantic pyramid tombs for themselves to prepare for the next world, which were loaded with everything a monarch would need to lead and maintain himself in the next world. Around 2550 BC, Pharaoh Khufu began the construction of the first Giza pyramid. His Great Pyramid, which stands 481 feet, 147 meters above the plateau, is the largest in Giza. Each of the estimated 2.3 million stone blocks weighs between 2.5 and 15 tons. Archaeologists and explorers can't stress enough about a personal visit to Giza that nothing could ever replicate or compare to the experience. The Borobudur Temple. This Buddhist temple was built among 2 mountains in Indonesia, and Guinness World Records lists it as the world's largest Buddhist temple archaeological site. It's one of the most complicated structures in the world. Borobudur was created without a written record of who built it or what it was intended to be used for. Quite crazy for something that is the same size as a 10-story building. The monument is made up of 9 stacked platforms, 6 of which are square and 3 of which are round with a central dome. All of the work is done with basic tools like hammers and levers, and the only mode of transportation was a cow-drawn cart. As a result, the construction of this temple took 23 years. Borobudur only began to earn international recognition and fame in 1814 thanks to Sir Thomas Stamford Raffles' efforts while Java was under British authority. Today, in Mahayana Buddhism, it is a priceless ancient center for pilgrimage and education. Easter Island. Jacob Roggeveen, a Dutch explorer, landed on a small island in the Pacific Ocean in 1722. He dubbed the island Easter Island because it was Easter Sunday. Rapa Nui was the name given to it by the locals. European explorers were taken aback when they saw gigantic stone carvings known as Maori on Rapa Nui. Even to this day, the people of Rapa Nui are a mystery. How did they get there? Where did they come from? The iconic photographs of the Easter Island heads have been seen by almost everyone. For decades, they have intrigued archaeologists and explorers, but now specialists claim to have solved one of the biggest puzzles: why the statues are where they are. What we've come to learn recently is that those Easter Island skulls conceal buried bodies. Archaeologists have discovered the bodies linked with the heads, as well as other significant findings that add to our understanding of the Easter Island civilization and how the monoliths were formed. A research company was created, and through their work, several heads were excavated to find the underlying torso and body. They believe that each head was created by a community, and their dead were buried in the close proximity of the head. Tutankhamun's tomb. Tutankhamun, also known as King Tut, was an Egyptian pharaoh who reigned from 1333 BCE from the age of 9 years old until 1323 BCE, dying at the young age of 18 years old. Tutankhamun was mummified and buried in a tomb packed with artwork, jewelry, and valuables after he died, which advocated for the preservation and provisioning of royal bodies for the afterlife. The tomb was swiftly concealed by shifting sands, and it remained hidden for more than 3,000 years. It was discovered by a British archaeologist named Howard Carter in late 1922. Carter's patron, Lord Carnarvon, died 4 months after first entering the tomb. This prompted journalists to create the phrase "Curse of the Pharaohs," believing that hieroglyphs on the tomb walls warned anybody who disturbed King Tut would die quickly. The curse has been blamed for more than a dozen deaths, but tests have been proven that individuals who entered the tomb survived just as long as those who did not. There are many theories as to how this young pharaoh died. His family was incest, even his wife, who was his half-sister, which could have been the cause of the bone disease in his club foot. Tests in 1955 show that he might have also had malaria before his untimely death. Antikythera mechanism. 3 flat, deformed pieces of bronze in the National Archaeological Museum in Athens are all colors of green. After 2,000 years under the sea, they make up only some of the pieces of the Antikythera mechanism, ancient computer. These remnants were discovered by Captain Dimitrios Kontos after a team of sponge divers in 1900, but the mechanism wasn't recovered until 1901. It was found on the wreckage of a commerce ship that sank in the first half of the 1st century BCE. It was made about the year 100 BCE, give or take 30 years. There has never been anything like it uncovered in antiquity. For over 1,000 years, nothing as sophisticated or even close to it arises. The Antikythera mechanism was made out of bronze sheet and would have originally been housed in a shoebox-sized casing. Greek inscriptions cover the case doors and the faces of the mechanism, and enough of them have survived to reveal much of the device's astronomical or calendrical purpose. It recorded a solar year and the timing of a solar and lunar eclipse. It is still a baffling mystery to archaeologists as they wonder how the Greek could have manufactured such a creation all those years ago. There's so much yet to be discovered on our lands and our vast oceans and beyond. We've only just broken the ice when it comes to world history, and even now we're creating it. What we know now about the world's secrets shows us how capable and intelligent humankind is. I hope you enjoyed filling your brains with some really interesting facts about 8 different ancient discoveries from around the world. Thanks for watching.